January of 2023. China is just beginning to consider getting rid of COVID restrictions. Masks are still required but not enforced. Everyone still has to show their health codes before getting on public transit. And signs everywhere still reassure you that, yes, things have indeed been disinfected today. This was the first time since 2020 that I could finally leave Shenzhen and experience traveling again. Shenzhen is a great place to live. It's unique in that it's a melting pot of ancient cultures from all around China, but itself is only 40 years old. Unfortunately, rather than ending up like Los Angeles with enclaves of cultural groups, everyone's culture just gets eaten by the city's fast-paced capitalism and turned into high-rises and LEDs. So after 3 years of lockdown in Shenzhen, I was excited to reopen my eyes to the ancient culture of China by heading to Chengdu. After not traveling for so long, there's something special about getting on an airplane from the tarmac, rather than one of those extendable hallways. It feels so real. There's something equally unspecial about the absolutely disgusting airplane meal they served us with numb and spicy dried carrots full of heart-healthy preservatives. In planning this trip, I spent a long time searching for hotels that weren't trying to be luxury travel experiences, but would also accept foreigners. Yeah, if you weren't aware, China has a law that requires people to register with the local police station anytime they spend a night somewhere. For Chinese people, this just means you have to swipe your national ID, take a photo, and you're good. For foreigners, this means occasionally getting turned away because you find out that the hotel doesn't actually know how to register foreigners. Yeah, call ahead. I tried YouTube for recommendations on some interesting places to stay, but all I could find was the usual foreign brand hotels and a place called the Temple House. A luxury experience costing a minimum of $300 a night, and up to $600 a night if you want a Keurig machine, an IKEA sofa, and plastic flowers. Or almost $1,100 a night for some green sticks, a couple of bathrobes, a balcony that overlooks a fake village, and a full-size kitchen that you're definitely not going to use. Fortunately, some digging led me to a hotel that I thought was too good to be true. But to my delightful surprise, it turned out to be even better than I'd hoped. A set of large, intricately carved wooden doors set inside a classic Chinese door frame, the kind that you have to step over to get inside, led to a warm lobby that smelled of fresh and stale cigarettes. As if there weren't no smoking signs everywhere. The hotel itself is a museum. Old chairs, books, and decorations created an atmosphere full of ancient culture feels. A long and creatively decorated hallway with attention to detail from floor to ceiling, where even the fire hose was disguised as part of the ancient decor, led us to our room, where I got to see the main reason that I wanted to stay at this hotel. The beds in all the rooms are genuine cultural artifacts that have been collected to avoid them being lost to time. They're not just cheap recreations, these are actual beds, built hundreds of years ago. The craftsmanship, imperfections, and stories of the past can be felt. And you're allowed to sleep on it. Definitely beats a shitty spring mattress at the Marriott. Did I mention this place cost us $30 a night? $30 a night. They even went as far as to blend the TV into the atmosphere. Props to them for going the extra mile. And how often do you get a hotel that has a skylight? A quick rest later and we headed out to explore. And everyone knows that you come to Chengdu for the pandas. And they know it because from the moment you step outside, it's except we didn't go see the pandas. Oh wait, no, that's supposed to be Snoopy. Pandas in a zoo are pandas in a zoo. I'd rather watch a clip from Planet Earth. When I travel, I just want to sit back and enjoy the ganjue. This is such a useful Chinese word that's really hard to describe in English. It literally translates to absorbing the feeling and feels. It can be used as a noun or a verb, and there really isn't an English word that accurately portrays the usefulness of this word. We have vibe and feels, but nothing quite grasps the meaning of this phrase. This place has Gandria. Seriously though, it's the whole city. They've taken this mascot to the heart of what it means to be in Chengdu and beat it into the ground. Not everything has to be a panda, bro. I came here for ancient culture, Gandria. China's governed by the Communist Party, but the word communism has completely lost all meaning. In the US, people use the word communism in place of bad people, and in China, the word seems to refer to like this vague idea of prosperity for all people. But by the actual definition of the word, a society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid accordingly to their abilities and needs, this doesn't describe modern China at all. Everywhere you look, you'll be confronted with capitalism trying to squeeze money out of people, at the expense of the culture that people claim to be so proud of. I've made this point in other videos, like the one about the absolute majesty of the Sima Tai section of the Great Wall, just being completely ruined by the artificial village with the Starbucks to help attract tourists. It's hard to ignore the disingenuous, "we love our culture," while seeing the complete lack of awareness of why this culture is special and should be preserved. The individual love for their culture is very real, but the desire to make money and get rich tends to overshadow the desire to maintain and pass down this culture, which leads to more hotels like the Temple House, and fewer like the Hanshi Jiudian. Modern China has this split obsession with both showing off how technology future they are, while also saying out loud how proud they are of their 5,000 years of history. Walking through the streets of modern Chengdu, high-rises, bike share, electric vehicles, the ancient culture Gandria becomes distant and hard to find. But there are still places where the Gandria is overflowing. This is a well-known ancient irrigation system built around 256 BC. The idea was to split, filter, and divert the river without damming it, using some of the water for irrigation, and then the rest continues along its original path, preventing flooding. At over 2,200 years old, this system still functions as intended, representing the incredible idea of working with nature rather than against it, and starkly contrasting the flatten and raise everything then build from scratch approach that it seems like most modern cultures have adopted. It's an indication of just how strong the culture is here, that even with all the tourism, this place still retains its Gandria. The cliffs of insanity!
Wow, 等下。
Oh, but don't forget to buy a stuffed panda at the gift shop on your way out. Some places straddle the line between maintaining ancient culture and modernism. They become nice places to get coffee and enjoy people watching.
好了，来嘛，脚的，就在里面喝茶。
Unfortunately, this is also the type of place where vendors hang out and try to trick you into buying fake versions of things that they try to pass off as real.
And see Alibaba has anyone know? Ah, yeah.
Fortunately, a piece of Chinese culture that has been extremely resistant to this kind of modern homogenization is food. And Chengdu is an absolutely prime example of Chinese food culture. Places like Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, they all have their own excellent flavors and preparation styles, but they're small countries. And while there are slight regional differences, nothing compares to China's. The kind of food diversity that you experience in China is unlike any other place. Different kinds of meats and vegetables, different preparation, different presentation, different teas, different chopsticks. I thought this was pretty clever. In contrast, Chengdu is also home to some of the worst of what capitalism and modernism have to offer. The do it because we can-ism. The kind of thing that you have to go see because you're there, even if its very existence is part of the degradation of culture problem. This is the New Century Global Center, a massive, gargantuan shopping mall that is actually the largest building by surface area in the world. This place contains everything that could possibly be considered the opposite of ancient culture. Muji, a water park, chain restaurants, luxury brands, Luckin Coffee. I'm sure there are some of you watching who might question what problem I have with modern things. Like, what's wrong with shopping malls and luxury hotels? And honestly, nothing. That's not the problem. The problem is the ever-increasing blindness to the disappearance of ancient culture as places like the Global Center are more and more the center of focus. When people post these videos saying, "Look how incredible China is," it's always this type of video. A fly-through of modern high-rises with tons of Tron-style lighting, expressing, "Look how advanced they are!" But where's the value? When 40% of those lights burn out and it looks like an old flickering storefront sign, will people stand in the middle of this and think, "Whoa, will any of this still be here in 1,000 years?" The difference in Ganjue between this and this is so tangible. Things are feeling increasingly less real, increasingly plastic. People get excited about experiences and forget to be aware.
没事啊，挺好的，都没看到你们好吗？就是看背影而已。他只是。
They go to the same places, do the same things, take the same photos, and then come home, check it off the list, post the photos on Instagram, and repeat. But where's the Ganjue? There's something special to be learned from the ancient cultures. Close to 4,000 years ago in the Shu Kingdom, it's hard to know exactly how people lived, but just looking at their artifacts, you can't help but feel the Ganjue. I am delighted to serve you. You don't look delighted.